Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. In today's video, I'm going to show you how to replace a damaged or uprooted HDMI port from a PS4 using a simple, affordable process. You don't need to spend a fortune or take it to a repair shop. You can do it at home with some basic tools and a bit of patience. But in case you may not be able to do it yourself, you can always bring it down to our workshop at Al-Amin Online Concept. Let's get started. Step 1. What you'll need. First, let's go over the tools and materials you'll need for this repair. A new HDMI port. You can get one online for cheap. Flux helps the solder flow better. A low-heat soldering iron or hot air rework station. Some fresh solder wire, tweezers, rubbing alcohol, and a brush for cleanup. Optional, heat-resistant tape for safety. Make sure your workspace is clean and well ventilated. Always be careful with heat. Don't rush this process. Step 2. Removing the damaged HDMI port. Now let's remove the broken HDMI port from the PS4 motherboard. First, apply flux around the HDMI port pins and pads. This makes the solder easier to melt. If you're using a hot air rework station, gently heat the HDMI area from the bottom side of the board. Keep the heat moving in circles to avoid overheating one spot. As the solder begins to shine and melt, gently lift the HDMI port using tweezers. It should come off smoothly. Don't force it. Once it's off, clean the area with some rubbing alcohol and a brush to remove leftover flux and solder. Step 3. Preparing for the new HDMI port. With the old port removed, it's time to prepare for the new one. Apply a small amount of flux to the clean solder pads. Take your new HDMI port and align it carefully on the pads. The alignment is crucial. Double-check that all the pins are matching up with their contact points. If needed, you can use heat-resistant tape to hold the port in place temporarily. Step 4. Soldering the new port. Now, let's solder the new port. Start by using your soldering iron or hot air tool with low heat again. Gently heat the area around the HDMI port. Watch the solder pads underneath. As they begin to melt and shine, the new HDMI port will settle into place. You can add a bit of new solder to the pins on the sides to ensure a secure connection. Be gentle and patient. Once everything is in place, let the board cool naturally. Don't blow on it or use a fan. Step 5. Clean up and testing. When the board has cooled down, clean up any excess flux using alcohol and your brush. Look over your work. Make sure there are no loose pins, no shorts, and that the HDMI port is firmly attached. Reassemble your PS4. Plug in the HDMI cable and connect it to a screen to test. If the image shows up perfectly, congrats! You just saved money and did a great job. And that's it. You've successfully replaced your PS4 HDMI port without breaking the bank. If you found this video helpful, give it a thumbs up, subscribe for more tech tips, and drop a comment if you have any questions. See you in the next one.